The Kitchens Lane Trail shouldn't be too hard to find. It's a popular spot with not a lot of room for parking your car, so you might actually consider riding a bike here. When you first arrive, you'll see that you have a few different options for hikes you can take through the area. One option is to just go around the gate and follow the main trail down to the river. Another option is to back up a little ways, go back to where you came from in the parking lot. You'll notice that on the left-hand side of the parking lot, there is a trail leading up into the hills. It's a pretty easy walk, and the hills are fairly mild. The trail winds around and branches off at a few different spots. Part of the fun of this walk might be getting a little lost. You're never too far from civilization, and a lot of the trails intersect each other, so it's easy to find your way again. But if you want to keep watching, I'll take you to a neat spot that I just discovered recently. It's not too far. So at the first fork in the trail, follow the path to the right. Eventually, after a few minutes, you'll come up to another junction, and you have the option to keep going up the hill or to take a right and go down the hill. Keep going straight here and just follow the trail so that the river is always on your right-hand side. The Wissahickon Valley trails have been around for a long, long time. Before this area ever became an official park, people were drawn to the trees and ravines and little creeks. I love to imagine Edgar Allan Poe wandering through these woods. The spot I want to take you to is pretty well known among the locals, but it can be a little hard to find if you've never been there before. And actually, maybe I shouldn't even be showing you the way to get there, because it's kind of fun just to discover it on your own. Obviously, the trail is going to look different at different times of year, but there are a few noticeable landmarks. You should definitely take the time to stop and look around you. There are a lot of beautiful things to see. But once you get to this area with the cement retaining walls, start looking up. There's a certain amount of debate as to whether that's William Penn up there or just some random guy in Quaker clothes. But one thing is for sure. Somebody hauled that statue into the middle of the forest. Supposedly the statue arrived here at some point in the late 1800s, and it sits on top of a spot known as Momrinker's Rock. In legends, Momrinker is sometimes depicted as a revolutionary patriot. During the war in Germantown, soldiers would take shelter in the rugged terrain around the Wissahickon Valley, and it's said that they would sometimes retrieve information from an informant named Molly Rinker. Standing on this perch, Mom Rinker allegedly dropped balls of yarn down to the colonial soldiers below. These balls of yarn would contain messages about British troop movements. But there are other people who tell stories of a 17th century witch named Mom Wrinkle. She drank dew from acorns and would use this rock to launch her broomstick flights under a moonlit night. Regardless of what you believe, it's a great place to feed your imagination.